welcome everyone to TJ and the Grumpy Old Man, a twice-a-week sports podcast that happens every single Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every single Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm your host, TJ, and with me here, as always, is the Grumpy Old Man. They say there's no shame in his game because he is always the same.
That's me.
I know we're starting a little late today. I'm sure it doesn't come as a shock to anyone. But welcome. If you're new to the show, you like it and you like the content you see, subscribe on YouTube. Stick around a while. We invite you also to like on Facebook and follow on Twitter. Also leave a thumbs up. That's how you let us know that you enjoy the content. But Grump, a lot to talk about today, right? We're going to go ahead and talk about the NBA Finals, right? That kicks off tonight. The Boston Celtics against the Golden State Warriors. We've got, right, the Western and Eastern Conference Finals in the NHL. So we're going to be talking about the Colorado Avalanche facing off against the Edmonton Oilers, as well as the the New York Rangers facing off against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Also, there we got some NFL news to talk about, maybe a little NIL sprinkled in. Ryan Day, head coach there of the Ohio State Buckeyes, happened to chime in on how much money he's going to need in order to be competitive with name, image, and likeness deals. And we're also going to be talking about some way too early MLB MVP discussions. Who was going to be the AL and NL MVPs, Grump?
Okay. That's fine. See, TJ likes to just spring these things on me. That's the first I'm hearing of any of this. That's why I smile, because I don't know what he's going to talk about most of the time. Occasionally, I will send him things I would like to talk about. They never show up on the show, of course. And then what did
you send me today, Grumpy?
I don't know. I sent you like 4 or 5 things. It doesn't matter. None of them were anything that you looked at. So I just don't think you treat me appropriately.
What, Grumpy? You know what, Grumpy? What do you want to talk about first?
I don't care. Let's just go ahead, do your thing. You obviously have a plan. You're trying to Pearl Harbor me, obviously.
I'm trying to Pearl Harbor you.
Catch me off guard. That's fine. I'll be all right.
Sure, Grump. Sure. Well, here's the thing, right? I mean, tonight we've got game 1 of the NBA Finals, Boston Celtics against the Golden State Warriors. I want to hear your predictions, Grump, on who you think goes ahead and comes out victorious and wins the NBA Finals.
I want to say I'm rooting for Boston Celtics, but I don't think they have the clutch gene, so I'm going to pick Golden State. Golden State knows how to win, and I look at the way the Celtics can get up on a team and then wind up losing, or they kind of fall apart down the stretch. So I'm going to go with Golden State in this series.
And, you look at that Golden State team. I know they struggled for a few years after, right, Durant left. They didn't, weren't winning finals, as often as they were with Durant there. But, I mean, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Curry. I mean, every single one of those guys have a lot of playoff experience and a lot of NBA Finals experience. I think that always does matter. And I kind of wanted to branch off of that question. So you've got the Golden State Warriors, Grump?
Yeah. Well, your best player has to be a clutch player, and I just don't think Jason Tatum is that, because I do feel he's Boston's best player. And then Jaylen Brown second, but I think that and I think Jaylen Brown is more clutch than Jason Tatum. I like Jason Tatum, but in the big moment, I don't know. He just doesn't grab the game by the throat, and I think to be a champion, you need that from your best player.
Right now, there is 42 seconds remaining in the first quarter of basketball. Golden State Warriors have 29 points. They're up 29-27. You'll get a kick out of this, though. Only 3 players for the Golden State Warriors have actually scored tonight. Stephen Curry, Andrew Wiggins, and Klay Thompson. Everybody else has not registered a single point.
Well, here's the thing. You know who you got to stop, right? What does Belichick say? Don't let your best player beat you. Maybe they should try that. I mean, they got 3 guys who are scorers on that team.
Well, Draymond, I was about to say Draymond Green really hasn't registered much. Well, okay. I wanted to ask you this.
If Draymond Green is leading Golden State in scoring at the end of the game, they're not winning the game.
Either that or he's on fire and they're going to steamroll a team.
If Draymond Green is your leading point scorer on the Golden State Warriors with this lineup, Golden State's losing the game. I'm just going to say that right now.
He's not a guy who puts up a lot of points. I'm just saying, right? I mean, like Curry obviously going to put up a lot of points, right? I think if Boston wants a chance, right, they're going to have to. I tell you, if Boston wants a chance, I don't know if it's too early for them. You know what I mean? When you talk about they don't have, number one, they don't have home court advantage, right? That's in favor of the Golden State Warriors.
I
Uh,
don't think that matters though. For the here's the thing: the
really?
Celtics play Golden State really, really well. They have for the last number of years. They are a matchup nightmare for Golden State. Al Horford is going to have to play well this series. Marcus Smart is going to have to. He has the mentality, a killer mentality, but he just doesn't have the skill set, and that hurts them. He feels he should be taking the last shot of every game, and that's a mistake.
Well, here's the thing too. Stephen Curry tonight, he's got 21 points to the first quarter. He's hit 6 3-pointers so far today.
Who's guarding him?
I couldn't tell you.
Jason Tatum, right? Well, then you know what? Switch up. So we're going to let him get 85 points tonight. They're going to have to switch up. I mean, how long do you have to? And I like Udoka as a coach, but it's like, how long do you have to watch that to realize let's kind of change it up a little bit, just a little bit?
Well, I kind of wanted to stem and break it off, to bring it to a different point, right? I think Curry, first ballot Hall of Fame caliber player. There's no doubt about that. If they won another final this year, does Klay Thompson then, does he move himself into I'm a Hall of Fame caliber player now?
You know what? I don't know enough of his stats. Yeah, he's won some titles, but I don't know what his stats are. Remember, I think he's missed almost the last 3 years with injuries. Kind of derails any Hall of Fame talk, doesn't it?
What I wonder about, yeah, you're right. He didn't play in 2019, 2020. He had the knee injury, and then 2020, 2021, he had the Achilles injury.
Yeah.
And this year, he only played 32 games in a regular season.
So he's missed like 3 years in a row. That's a long time not playing.
It's a guy who could be a 4-time NBA champion, though. And when healthy, right, he's a fantastic. But that's one of those things, right? It was something I was seriously pondering. I know he missed, right, the last two, and we don't know what the future holds for him, how long of a career he's going to have. Are injuries, the older he get, really, is that going to really affect his game? Is that going to affect him in a big way? It's just one of those things I think of and say, can the postseason success and the success when he's healthy on the court, will that be enough to bring him into a Hall of Fame caliber player discussion?
Should Robert Horry be in the Hall of Fame? I think he's been on 7 championship teams. Maybe he should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know. You tell me. You have to be an integral part. You have to lead the team. You got to do something. I mean, I'm not saying Klay Thompson can shoot the ball.
Robert Horry. Okay. I had to pull up Robert Horry's stats when you made a comment like that. They're in 2 freaking different stratospheres, Grump.
Just saying. You mentioned, winning the titles is not the most important thing.
No, I said the postseason success. Okay, when you look at Klay Thompson, he's a 2-time All-NBA player. He's made the All-Star game 5 times. He was an All-Defensive player in 2018, 2019 season.
Klay Thompson?
Yes.
Okay, he don't strike me.
He's a 2-time All-NBA player. I'm just saying, right? If he's healthy, I think the personal accolades he could have, accumulated over that time period would have been substantial. And I think, right, he's in the prime of, he missed 29, 30 years old. Both of those years in the prime of his career, he missed.
I'm going to say no for the Hall of Fame for him. No. You missed 3 years. Sorry.
2.5.
Okay, 3. I mean, one of them, he won defensive player, a defensive NBA defensive player. He didn't even play.
No. That was the year before. That was the year before he got hurt.
Okay. For me, the answer is no. If he would have played those 3 years and he would have put up huge numbers, he would have had a legitimate chance. But he didn't.
Okay. All I'm going to say is I'm still leaning towards Klay Thompson's done enough. If he wins another, it's not like, okay, here's the thing. It's not like he's an auxiliary piece, Klay Thompson.
I didn't say he's an auxiliary piece.
You freaking compared him to freaking Horry, Grump.
You said, well, if you do well in the playoffs, that should get you in the Hall of Fame.
No, I didn't say specifically that. I said, does the playoffs and postseason success do a little more because, right, he's performing in the playoffs and the postseason, but obviously he's in a situation where he missed time. He missed 2 years in his prime due to injury. Will they say, okay, we're willing to overlook a little bit of the regular season play that you had missed years for due to injury because we've also seen you do it on a highest level in the postseason?
Okay. Is he the leading scorer in the playoffs for them? Is he finals MVP? I
Are
mean,
you asking me if he's Stephen Curry? No, he's not.
yeah, he's not. Well, he wasn't Kevin Durant either. He was the third guy of the big three.
Well, that's my point, right? There's no longer the big three.
Okay.
That is exactly my point. Does this, if they win the finals this year, now Durant's gone, right? Andrew Wiggins is no freaking Durant. Does that bode a little more? Because it's no longer the big three. It's two of them, two big guys. And you've got a really, really fantastic role player and a guy like Draymond Green.
I'm going to say no. If this was his last year in the league, the answer is no. Okay. He's still, if he plays another 5, 6, 7 years and puts up huge numbers and wins a couple more championships, yeah. Yep, for certain. But as of right now, no. TJ is one of those people who just, a year in the league, but he's a Hall of Famer. Absolutely. Jacob DeGrom, Hall of Famer. That's
Jacob
never
DeGrom
happened.
is a Hall of Famer.
That's not happening. It will never.
What do you mean it's not happening?
It will not happen.
You don't think Jacob DeGrom's going to make the Hall of Fame?
Jacob DeGrom will not make the Hall of Fame. Will not happen. He's 33, 34 years old now. He's had arm injuries. No, it's not happening. It's a numbers game. You got to put up big numbers.
He's about to be 34 years old. He's put up unbelievable numbers. Grumpy, he's put up freaking video game-esque numbers.
You know what? Look at Ron Guidry and the run he had in the late 1970s. Look at and he's not in the Hall of Fame. And his numbers are better than Jacob DeGrom's. Maybe not ERA, but everything else just better. It's not the Hall of very good or the Hall of he was really good for 5 years.
He had 2 really good years. He had 2 really good years.
He was a consistent 18, 19, 20 game winner every year.
Okay. I hate when you do that shit. How many wins does the guy have? I don't give 2 shits if he has.
That's why you play the game. That's why you play the game to win.
You do the fucking pitchers do not bat for the freaking bats, Grumpy. The pitchers are not swinging the freaking bats anymore, Grump. They don't have any control on the run support they put up. None.
And here's another thing. Jacob DeGrom does not have a cool nickname like Louisiana Lightning.
Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness gracious. He has been, right? He did win. He's won 2 Cy Youngs. He has been injured. He has been banged up. I'm just saying this is a guy to where.
No. He hasn't. When did he even burst on the scene? What was he, 27?
26.
26. No. And he's hurt. You're not going to win. He won 2 Cy Young Awards, and he's been hurt the last couple of years. Do you think he's going to become less injury prone the older he gets?
Well, he's already got his injury knocked out of the way this year, Grumpy, so he's going to be solid and healthy the remainder of the season.
And he's not going to win Cy Young Award this year.
Probably not.
Probably not.
You can't miss a substantial.
He's on my fantasy team. I know. Believe you me, I know.
When is he supposed to be coming back?
Beginning of July, end of June. Maybe right after the All-Star break, maybe right before. I have a bunch of guys on my injured reserve list that I'm just like, come on, fellas, let's go. Let's get back. I'm carrying guys in my regular lineup that are on the disabled list as well. I'm carrying a whole bunch of guys who are injured.
Grumpy. It's called the injury. What do they call it now? The injured list.
I still call. Well, it doesn't matter. I don't care what they call it. Disabled list. That's what it's always been. DL.
That disabled list.
Guys are hurt. They're hurt. Not playing.
Alexander's saying, "What's up, guys? Hope everything is all well with you. I wonder how everyone is feeling after last night."
I'm not concerned yet. I think here's the thing: if the Rangers beat them tomorrow night, I'd start to be concerned. Tampa has not lost back-to-back playoff games since, 3 years ago? It's a long time.
Yeah. Since they went on that cup run almost about 3 years ago. Drew L says a little late, more like an hour late.
It was only a half hour, Drew.
30 minutes. That's my fault. Oh, by the way, Doctor Strange movie was awesome.
See, I don't know. I'm glad Alexander liked it. It was okay.
That's what
The
you gotta
best
say.
movie I've seen this season so far is Top Gun Maverick, and I still think they could have cut a little bit of the end of it off, and I would have liked to end it a different way. But that's been by far the best movie that I've seen this year.
Drill said, sadly, James Italian was throwing a perfect game through 7 innings, and in the 8th, the Angels had a single hit.
The Yankees are really on a roll. They are. Do you
They're
ever think they're going to lose?
right now 1-0 in the bottom of the 8th.
They're winning 1-0.
They're down 1-0.
Oh, they'll probably come back and win. Well, I mean, when was the last time they even lost? Did they even have 10 losses this year? They've been really, really good. I mean, really good. Of course, again, it's the home runs.
They've got 15 losses. They're 35-15.
That's pretty damn good. That's pretty good. That's a 700 winning percentage. You're not going to have that through the whole year. Just not going to happen.
Yeah, 700. Mets are at 673.
Yeah.
The Mets.
The Mets have had more injuries than the Yankees have as well.
A lot more injuries.
Yeah.
I mean, injuries always seem to be the thing that get the Mets in trouble. Always, always, always.
Sounds like
since end of time, or since the beginning of time.
Sounds like you need a different training staff.
We need some sort of different physio, right? We need to change whoever is in charge of the physio department there. Drew Ellis said Aaron Judge, AL MVP, without question right now. Maybe Jose Ramirez is catching him.
Okay, Ramirez is having a better year than Judge overall, but he plays for Cleveland. So that knocks him down.
We'll talk about it. I've got a little graphic for it.
Okay.
Pete Alonso, National League MVP. We'll talk about it. Goon says, hey, gents, is a Mets/Yankee World Series feasible? Or am I merely a nincompoop for dreaming this dream in June? I would love that. I would love the Subway World Series once again.
You're going to find out a lot about the Mets. They're playing the Dodgers this weekend. You're going to find out a lot about the Mets.
What do you mean we're going to find a lot? Francisco Lindor is also going to be out. He slammed a freaking hotel door on his hand and hurt his finger, so he's not going to be playing either.
Okay.
You can't make this shit up for the Mets. You cannot make this shit up.
I'm just saying you're going to find a lot out about the Mets this weekend playing the Dodgers, as opposed to them potentially going to the World Series. The Dodgers are the team you got to knock off, right? Don't the Dodgers have the best record in baseball? Them are the Yankees now, right? Have the best record in Major League Baseball?
Give me a sec here.
I mean, the Dodgers have been good.
Dodgers are 33-17.
Okay, so they're right behind the Yankees then, right?
A worse winning percentage in the Mets and a worse winning percentage in the Yankees.
What's the Mets record?
Mets are they're 35-17. And again, Dodgers 33-17. Yankees are 35-15.
Okay. They're all right up there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just saying you'll find out if the Mets go out to Los Angeles and get swept, you're going to say, okay, maybe we need to reassess. I'm just saying you'll find out a lot of.
Okay. Now I feel like I have to be the freaking man who's telling you to pump the freaking brakes if the Mets don't do well.
No, all I'm saying is you're going to find out a lot about the Mets playing the Dodgers this weekend. That's all I said.
Mets are without Jacob deGrom, Max Scherzer, and Trevor McGill. They're without three of the freaking starting pitchers, Grump.
I understand.
Lindor hurt his finger by closing the freaking door on it. Hurts his finger, unable to play.
I understand what you're saying.
I don't think you do, Grumpy.
I absolutely do. Everyone, just to let everyone know, TJ's a diehard Mets fan. Okay. So whenever I say anything against the Mets, he gets a little butthurt. You understand that? All I'm saying is we're going to find out. And I'm not saying the Mets are going to lay an egg against Los Angeles. I'm just saying you'll find out more about them. That's all.
We're going to find out a lot. Yeah, they're going to be without 3 of their starting pitchers. Yeah, we're going to find out a lot about them. How could you say that? If it's, let's say, both teams healthy matching up against each other, then you could say, yeah, this is a good barometer.
The Dodgers have some injuries too, though.
Okay, Grumpy, are the Dodgers missing 2 aces? I want to say probably not. Well, Trevor Bauer, but are the Dodgers really missing
Clayton
2
Kershaw?
aces? Trevor Bauer's never playing baseball again.
And
But are
Clayton
the Dodgers
Kershaw
missing 2 aces?
and Clayton Kershaw.
Are Clayton Kershaw's injured?
Yeah.
Walker Buehler's healthy?
Yes, he is.
That answer is yes. I know that answer already. But I mean, like, come on, Grump. Come on, Grumpy.
All I'm saying is the teams are comparable, and I'm interested. That's a series I really want to watch. Here's the thing. I think the Mets are built to win. I do. I think they have the right mix of players, the Sterling Martes, the Escobars, to mix in with some of those other guys, with the Lindors and the Alonsos. Alonso's having a bounce back year this year, piece of shit that he is. So you're looking at that. I feel good about the Mets. I do, because they have the right, like I said, they got some of the moxie that they haven't had in recent years. Still, you're going to have to knock off the big dog on the block, which is the Dodgers right now. So I'm interested to see how they play. That's all. I'm not putting down the Mets.
I'm looking at these injuries. The only players of note I'm seeing is Clayton Kershaw. Those Max Muncy, maybe that's it. But I don't know. He's supposed to be coming back soon. They don't have a lot of injuries. So all I'm saying, Mets are going to be headed there this weekend without McGill, without DeGrom, without Scherzer, and without Francisco Lindor. So 3 of those players are some of the top tier players in the entire MLB, and McGill's a really good rotation piece. So, I don't think it's a great barometer to say you're missing 3 of your 5 starting pitchers, and again, a star infielder. Okay, we'll just agree to disagree. Joseph C says, fully expect the Warriors to win and Curry to win the Finals MVP, because that's one thing that all these sports pundits keep harping on is for not winning yet.
Well, we're going to see. That's why they play the games.
Curry should have won the 2015 MVP over Iguodala. Okay, LeBron James should have won the MVP in 2015. The guy averaged a triple-double on his entire freaking team.
Your team loses. You don't win MVP.
Don't care.
But who came up in the big moments? Who showed up in that series? Who showed up in the big moments? It was Iguodala. That's who it was. He was really good in that series. And in the big moments, he showed up. That's what I'm saying. I don't think that the Celtics have somebody like that. Smart thinks he's one of that. That's what Smart thinks he is, but he's not.
Okay. He averaged 35.8 points in the finals, 13.3 rebounds, and 8.8 assists.
And
he also became the first player in NBA Finals to lead both teams in points, assists, and rebounds for the entire series, and didn't win the MVP. First time in NBA history, LeBron James. First time, Grumpy. First time. It's a first. Led both teams in all categories: points, assists, and rebounds, and didn't get Finals MVP. We gave it to the guy who covered him, who allowed a guy to go ahead and have the most points, rebounds, and assists in one series for both teams in the finals in the history of the NBA. We gave it to that guy who was covering him. Okay. That's when I was like, all these things are a fucking joke. They're all a joke.
Iguodala, MVP.
A joke. That was the biggest joke MVP I've ever seen.
You know what? While he's polishing up that MVP to go next to his world championship plaque.
NBA Finals.
He's okay.
Yeah. Alexander says, damn, TJ, ambushing Grumpy right off the bat. What's going on, TJ? I don't even know what I said.
Just the way you are, mean.
Yeah, that's it. And don't forget, Marcus Smart, the defensive player of the year.
He is very good defensively.
And
he should be the guy on Curry. You need to body Curry.
It's a lot easier said than done.
You need to get up on him. Just can't let him just start launching the ball. Just can't do it.
Just look at that.
Oh my God, what is this?
Just look at that.
Yeah, he didn't even shoot 40%. Yeah, you know what he's like? He was like James Harden or like Russell Westbrook. That's what he was like. That's why Iguodala won.
40% was a trouble. Okay, yeah. Well, I can think of a lot worse things than shooting 40%.
Probably got a lot of free throws.
I just say, look at the points, look at the rebounds, look at the assists. He did everything for that team. Everything. Was that also the year that Kyrie Irving was banged up and one of the many years that he was banged up and couldn't compete, and he was out there with Kevin Love, who was shooting brick after brick after brick? Yeah. Man, I do remember that series. I remember watching that. Oh, man, I remember that series like it's yesterday. Joseph C. said here, Colorado's up 3-0 again. It's shame that Edmonton has 2 of the best players in the league, and they can't win shit.
Got the old sweeper. The brooms are already getting to come out. They're already cutting down the brooms.
You dusting off,
they're ready to go. Getting ready to make sure that nice sweeping action getting ready to go. Edmonton's not good enough defensively. I'm sorry.
Mm.
Maybe they'll score 6 or 7 goals tonight, but Colorado probably have 10 or 11. Is that Mike Smith in goal today? I don't know.
In net, yeah, Mike Smith's in net. 22 saves on 25 shots.
He sucks.
Joseph C. said, if DeGrom wins another Cy Young, he's a Hall of Famer. That will be 3 in an era where pitcher wins are irrelevant. Pitcher wins do not freaking matter. I've said it a million times, and I'll say it again, Grump.
Maybe we just get rid of the stat then, right?
Why the fuck? Okay. Why is that a barometer as to if you're...
It shows how effective you are going deep into games and giving your team a chance to take a lead. That's what it means.
Let me ask you this. Let's say there's some pitchers that have ERAs around 4, 4.5. Let's say 4.2, 4.3. And they come out with 16, 17 wins. Is that more impressive than a pitcher who has a 1.47 ERA and has 9 wins and 7 losses? I don't think so.
Okay. I'm just saying historically, guys who have a whole lot of wins, their ERAs are really good too.
Not always.
You're a good pitcher. It means you're a good pitcher.
How many? What was Mike Mussina's freaking ERA? Mike Mussina, did he make the Hall of Fame?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. What was Mike Mussina's freaking ERA? Give me a sec. Give me a freaking second here.
Mike Mussina was a really good pitcher for a long time.
Okay. Let's hold it up, Grumpy.
Mike Mussina was really, really good. Really good. I don't think he ever won 20, or maybe he won 20 games once at the end of his career, but he was always up there when he was pitching for Baltimore and then for the Yankees. You know, he had a bunch of wins. ERA was good.
ERA 3.68. Yeah, he's fantastic, Crump. Excellent. I mean, he's a Hall of Fame caliber player, right? Mike Mussina was nowhere near the pitcher Jacob DeGrom is. Not even in the same stratosphere.
Well,
if I'm picking a guy, if I need one game in the prime of their career, I'm picking Jacob DeGrom 9 days a week and 15 times on Sunday over Mike Mussina.
He's not going to get you a win, though.
Okay, the Yankees were the freaking powerhouse back in the freaking 90s and the early 2000s.
Okay, but he was doing that with Baltimore too. He was really good for a long time. And here's the one thing that he brought that Jacob DeGrom doesn't. You can roll him out to the mound every 4 days. Can't do that with Jacob DeGrom. Cannot do it.
The innings pitched. He never reached over 240 innings pitched in a season.
How many has Jacob DeGrom thrown in his biggest season? I bet you he's not even thrown 100. I'll bet he's not even thrown 200.
Oh, you're wrong on that one. Give me a sec.
Okay.
I know you're wrong on that. I just looked it up earlier. I know you're way wrong on that one. Give me a sec here. Jacob DeGrom's most he had was 217.
So even then, he hasn't had
any injuries. 201, 217, 204, right around the 200s.
Okay. Go look at Mike Mussina. How many over 200 did he have? That's 3 years for Jacob DeGrom. Three.
During the prime of his career, Mike Mussina had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 seasons in a row where he had over 200 innings pitched.
And how about for his whole career? 9 in a row. 9 in a row over 200 or more. What does it say? Consistency, durability, winner.
11 in his entire MLB career. In his 18-year career, 11.
And DeGrom's had 3.
It shouldn't be a barometer. Do you make the Hall of Fame because you pitch a shit ton of innings?
Okay, the Hall of Fame is about longevity and putting up numbers. That's what it's about.
He never won a Cy Young. He was never the best pitcher in the league. He never won a Cy Young, ever.
He came in second a couple of times.
Oh, he never won a Cy Young, Grump. Come on.
I'm just saying, Jacob DeGrom will not be making the Hall of Fame.
He came in second once. He came in second once for the Cy Young.
What's Jacob DeGrom's?
4, 5, 5, 6. He had 1 on 2, 6, 5, and 6.
Yeah, he was really good for a boatload of years. Really, really good. One of the top 5 pitchers in the league for probably a decade. That's the type of stuff that gets you in the Hall of Fame. Don Sutton.
Hold on. Were you saying Mike Mussina was a top 5 pitcher in the league for a decade?
Yes.
Jesus Christ. You put Kurt Schilling over Mike Mussina, right? You put Roger Clemens over Mike Mussina, right? Come on, top 5. You put Randy Johnson. I'm going to kill you, Grump. What?
All I'm saying is, you want to get into the Hall of Fame. Look at Don Sutton's numbers for the Dodgers, right? He was another guy. Took forever for him to get into the Hall of Fame.
Top 5.
Top 5 every year. Look at what did the Cy Young results say? Top 5. 5, 5, 4, 2, 6, 5, 5. I mean, that tells you top 5 every year.
Jesus Christ.
He was really good.
For decades.
Really, really good. Really good. And here's the thing. You can see him out there every week. You get to see Mike Mussina. Jacob deGrom, maybe you'll see him around. Maybe you'll see him a couple times a year. That's it. Yeah, he's great in those couple of games. Not getting the Hall of Fame. The only guy who got in the Hall of Fame who had a short period of dominance like that was Sandy Koufax. Only guy. And Sandy Koufax was better than Jacob deGrom.
Jacob deGrom is a guy who's going to be.
Sandy Koufax was greater than Jacob deGrom.
I'm not saying
Sandy Koufax better than Jacob deGrom.
Okay, cool.
Sandy Koufax Hall of Fame, Jacob deGrom not so much.
Okay.
He's up here, you're here. You're here, or you're here. With me, you're here. Without me, here. With me, without me. Without.
Oh my God. Did you watch freaking Night and Day?
No, you mentioned on the last podcast that you like Tom Cruise Night and Day, so I figured I'd just throw that in there.
All I've got to say is this. Top 5 pitcher. He pitched in an era where you had Pedro Martinez. He was never better than Pedro Martinez. He was never better than Roger Clemens. He was never better than Magic Johnson. When Tom Glavine,
Hall of Famer. These are all Hall of Famers you're talking about.
He was not better than Greg Maddux. Oh, okay.
Hall of Famer.
What?
These guys were all Hall of Famers you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's my point. They're all Hall of Famers.
Was winning Cy Youngs when they have all Hall of Fame pitchers that he's facing off against right now, like the Max Scherzers and all those guys too. He's winning the Cy Young.
Here's the difference. Pedro Martinez, what he pitched 15 years in the league. Clemens, 20 years in the league.
Clemens is in the Hall of Fame.
Well, he should be. Glavine,
right.
Glavine, Maddux, 18, 19 years in the league. I mean, there's a reason why those guys are in the Hall of Fame.
Because they're successful.
And they pitch a long time.
Don't count my boy Jacob deGrom out just quite yet. I remember for the longest time you said Clayton Kershaw wasn't going to make the Hall. Clayton Kershaw wasn't going to make the Hall of Fame.
What I said was
he's a first ballot Hall of Fame.
You were pumping Clayton Kershaw as an automatic Hall of Famer in his 4th year in the league.
4 years ago. 4 years ago, I said this guy's a first ballot Hall of Famer. No, he's not. No, he's not.
4 years
if
ago.
he stays healthy, first ballot guy.
It was like I said. You have to pitch for a while. It can't be like just a couple of seasons and then that's it. It's not to get in the Hall of Fame. It's not.
Well, let's talk about this. Let's change gears a little bit because we're talking about the Hall of Fame. I was going to talk about this, but I think it's very apropos. So I was going to get through the comments, but there's something else that I think we immediately have to go to. We're talking about the Hall of Fame, Grump. Frank Gore officially retired from football today, signed that 1-year contract with the 49ers and retired. Is Frank Gore a first ballot Hall of Fame caliber running back, right?
No.
16,000 career rushing yards, 3rd most in NFL history.
No.
Why not, Grumpy?
Because he was never special, ever.
Wow. They must have strung together some really average performances to end up 3rd in the history of the NFL in rushing yards when the league has changed to a pass predominant league.
How many years did he play?
A lot.
Yeah. He's a stat stuffer. And I like Frank Gore. I just don't think he's a Hall of Famer. Never won anything.
Like Mike Mussina.
Different
Never won shit.
Different sport.
What do you? Okay.
Mike Mussina just won a bunch of games.
Different sport.
Frank Gore predominantly played for below average teams.
Oh, stop.
They were not good teams when he was there. I mean, anybody ever say, wow, Frank Gore, he's a guy we got to stop? Mike Mussina, yeah, we're going to have a struggle on our hands tonight with him throwing the ball.
I swear to God. I'm going to go nuts. Frank Gore did make 5 Pro Bowls. He did make the Hall of Fame all.
Pro Bowls don't mean shit. Pro Bowls don't mean anything. Again,
he make the Hall of Fame all 2010 team.
So one time in a 25-year career. Okay.
What do you mean?
I'm just saying.
He was an All-Pro too. His second year in the league in 2000.
He was not an All-Pro. He was not an All-Pro. You forget what all pro means. The top player at that position. He was not that. Never an all pro.
Look at you. You sound a little frustrated, Grump.
That tells you without
Almost
TJ.
say he's a guy. You talk about the Mr. Consistency. You
He
talk
was
about a guy who did it over the longevity, right? Because that was such a big reason why Mike Mussina should be in the Hall of Fame. A guy did it so consistent over such a long time period. The son of a gun had, I can't even count how many seasons was over 1,000 yards rushing. I don't think I can count that high, Grump.
Okay, here's the thing. I think Frank Gore was a really good back for a long, long time. I mean, at the end, he was playing for the freaking Jets, for the Colts. I mean, teams that just sucked. And he was the guy they were feeding the ball to. He wasn't on good teams. It's not, whoa, we got to stop Frank Gore. Well, did he even make it to the playoffs ever? I don't even know if he even made it to the playoffs.
Oh, fuck it.
I don't
ridiculous.
know. I'm asking. I don't know if he even made it to the playoffs. How many playoff appearances does Frank Gore have? Football is just a different sport than baseball, by the way, just to let you know. Totally different.
This is the first guy and the only guy to ever do anything like this.
He's a stat stuffer. When his career was over, I thought he was retired 5 years ago. Like Frank Gore's still out there.
Frank Gore he saw action in 9 different playoff games.
Did they win any of them?
Yes, he was 5-4 in the playoffs in the postseason.
What were his numbers?
2011, 13 rushes, 89 yards. And by the way, that's something I have to address too. Oh, they fed him the ball. They gave him the ball a lot. Do you want to take a guess what his yards per carry were? Do you just want to go out on a limb and take a guess? And mind you, towards the tail end of the career, it was nowhere near as good as it was during his prime. Do you want to take a guess what his yards per carry was?
4.5.
4.3.
Okay, less than 4.5.
Hold on. What do you think the average of these Hall of Fame backs are that are averaging their? What do you think that is, Grump?
Today's running backs in his era or back in the day where it was predominantly a running game?
Sure. Take any name out of the hat. Take your LaDainian Tomlinsons. Take those. What do you think the average rushing yards they had per carry were in their career?
4.5. What was LaDainian Tomlinson?
Give me a sec. I'm going to pull it up. Honestly, you want to talk about
back in the day?
You want to talk about really throwing some trust and faith out there? I have no idea what Danny Tomlinson's numbers are, and I'm just throwing them out there. Give me a sec.
Back when I was a kid, if you averaged like 4.1, 4.2 yards a carry, that was a lot. Game was different.
LaDainian Tomlinson, 4.3. Wow. That's dead accurate. Look at me go. 4.3. Adrian Peterson, 4.6.
Now, Adrian Peterson's a Hall of Fame back.
That's correct. I mean, I've seen.
But I'm saying you got to do the look at the guy. You got to pass the eyeball test.
Jerome the Bus Bettis, 3.9. Curtis Martin, 4.0.
I think Curtis Martin was a better back than Gore.
I think during the peak, yeah, for certain. But
Jerome Bettis
made the argument. You literally just made the argument that consistency has to be added into the equation.
For baseball, it does, yes. Baseball is totally stats driven. In football, you got to pass the eyeball test.
He passed the eyeball test. He
passed the eyeball test because here's the thing:
all time in the history of the NFL in rushing.
You want to know why he didn't pass the eyeball test?
Freaking Walter Payton.
Here's why he didn't pass the eyeball test. Because you look at him, you don't even notice him.
More rushing yards than Barry Sanders.
He played a lot longer too.
Okay, but more rushing yards than Barry Sanders.
Okay, you trying to compare the two now? Is that what you're trying to do? Go ahead, tell me. Make the comparison between Barry Sanders and Frank Gore.
I would argue that Frank Gore has more rushing yards than Barry Sanders throughout his career, and that person who would argue that would be correct.
Yeah, but who are you picking on your team?
I'm picking Barry Sanders.
Okay, there you go. Enough said. Name a Hall of Fame running back you would pick Frank Gore over. Name one.
I was never a big fan of Jerome Bettis.
Yeah, neither was I. He got in because he's the boss, and he became really popular. And I thought he never should have made the Hall of Fame. Never should have. I thought he was very overrated.
Pull up the list. I'm sure I can name a few.
I don't want you to go back to Steve Van Buren, who ran for the Eagles in the 1940s. None of that shit either. Doesn't count. Different game.
Oh my God. I mean, like,
Frank Gore, no.
I'm trying to find him. I'm trying to find him in the same era, Grump.
How many running backs even get in the Hall of Fame anymore? The position has been nullified, right? You have to be sensational to be a running back and get in the Hall of Fame now. Those are the guys who used to get in all the time.
How about Thurman Thomas, Grump?
Thurman Thomas was really, really good.
I know he was really, really good for like a 5 or 6 year span.
I think he was a Hall of Fame type back, though. He was.
He's a Hall of Famer. He was a Hall of Fame running back.
Okay,
he had 5 really good years. He had 5 years. He had 2 years where he was all pro. He had 5 really good years, and everywhere else, started to tail off.
Yeah, I'm just saying that, Gale Sayers, too. You can say that about him. His numbers weren't spectacular, but all you do was watch him play. And you're like, holy shit. Special. Hall of Famer, Gale Sayers. Only played five full years in the league. That's it. Out of league by the time he was 28. Out of the league because of injuries. But he was that special that he makes Hall of Fame. That's all I'm saying. Frank Gore, not special.
Okay. Frank Gore, not special. The best average running back or above average running back in the history of all sports. The best above average athlete in the history of all sports.
Can you name a big game that Frank Gore had? Or a championship run that Frank Gore spearheaded the team like John Riggins did for the Redskins?
John freaking Riggins. You would take John Riggins over freaking...
Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. John Riggins was a horse.
Let me ask you this. You ever heard Bill Belichick say, what's the ability? You ever hear him say that? What's
availability?
What's the best ability, Bill
Belichick?
Availability. So guess what? The fact that Frank Gore has been available for the last 50,000 decades, Grump, and been running that rock and pounding that rock for years and years, and it's gotten his way to third all time. He's a dream for a guy like Bill Belichick. Best coach in all of sports.
Frank Gore was in the league for 18 years, and he had 9 playoff games. What does it tell you? Okay. Not good enough.
You're really going to make me... Oh, God.
No, Frankie boy.
It's not like he was giving the rock. He was not like he was getting 1 million carries a year, and his yards per carry were terrible. Come on, Grump.
Here's the thing: it's like, you think Matthew Slater should be in a Hall of Fame?
No, what are you talking about?
He's probably like the greatest special teams player ever. Matthew Slater for the New England Patriots.
Special teams.
Belichick thinks he should be in a Hall of Fame. He's out there every week, never misses a game. He might only get 1 or 2 plays a game, but he's in there, and he's out there all the time. Matthew Slater.
I'm not saying that alone.
Who's a great guy, by the way. Really, really, really great guy.
Alexander says, Grump, Tommy John surgery delayed to start his career. Talking about Jacob deGrom.
Okay. That doesn't matter.
Paulo C says Colorado is explosive. If the Rangers win tomorrow, it will be the first time Tampa loses 2 straight games. And if that happens, I don't see Tampa coming back to win the series. One big reason, Braden Point's injured.
That's huge. Missing your second line center.
I think Tampa is in the drive. I think even though Tampa's down a game, I still think they're in a good spot because they did have the rest. I think the guys are going to be feeling this first game was going to be tough. They're going to be a little slow out of the gates, and I think that they're going to be feeling better towards the tail end of the series, right? They're going to be feeling better. And I think, in the finals, I think they're going to be in better situation as well, in my opinion on that, Grumpy.
For me, you listen to Messier and you listen to Chelios, and they thought it would catch them up at the end of the game where they'd run out of legs. But I thought at the beginning of the game, they were outplaying the Rangers.
Do you know what ASMR is, Grump?
Say that again.
Do you know what ASMR is?
ASMR. No, I do not.
I couldn't tell you what the acronym is. Essentially, it's like certain sounds. They give you like these good feelings. Oh, I love the certain sounds when it does that. Anytime I watch you freaking blow your nose, I get negative ASMR. I don't even listen to you. I'm just like, I'm happy usually I'm pulled away. Man, Dude, you have the violentest freaking nose bowl I've ever seen. You, I had a chance to look at it as I was speaking. I love how it's one hand. Hold on, it's one hand on a tissue. I'm a two-hand type of guy. If I'm blowing my nose, I go side to side, two hands on the tissues, not one hand. Grumpy takes the one hand, goes, and I'm talking about he heaves his entire body into that blow of the nose. And it was 3 different pulls, like a elephant with the trunk. I was like, holy shit, Grumpy. Negative ASMR.
Next comment.
Okay. Alexander said, can you imagine the Mets right now with the lead that they have now with the Grom coming back, and the Mets could run away with this thing by July?
Well, and getting Scherzer back as well is key for them. Scherzer's a big.
McGill being back helps as well.
Yeah, I mean, but Scherzer, I mean, Carrasco's been really good this year for the most part. I mean, so you're looking at that rotation, right? You have 4 guys that can really go. And here's the thing, come playoff time, you're only going to see 3 starters. I wish they had a lefty, honestly. One thing I wish they had was a lefty. You know, you throw righties in there time after time after time. The other guy doesn't have to do a mix and match in the lineup, the other manager. You know, but DeGrom in particular is kind of, it doesn't matter which side of the plate you hit from. He's that good when he's healthy. Scherzer is a freaking horse, right? To me, that was a big, big addition for them this offseason. Like I mentioned, Marte and Escobar, Scherzer for the pitching staff. Just consummate professionals, those players. And I think it's really helped the Mets. And having Buck Showalter as the manager is another thing. You're held accountable to the things you do.
Well, you mentioned about Carlos Carrasco. I'm not sure if you saw this. Yesterday when Carlos Carrasco pitched, he's been in the majors for 11 years. It was the first time throughout his entire career that his father was able to make his game. Father who lived in Colombia, had never seen him pitch live in an MLB game.
Yes, I did see that.
Crazy, crazy stuff.
I mean, a good story. I like Carlos Carrasco, a guy I've had on my fantasy team for a number of years, and some piece of shit picked him this year in my league, which kind of burned my butt a little bit.
Okay. Nobody cares about your fantasy baseball team.
I do.
About your fantasy baseball team. The listeners give 0 shits about Grumpy Old Man's fantasy baseball team. None. Actually, negative. They give negative shits, Grumpy. Goes, they suck it up in their body. Could there be a possibility of the Mets Yankees World Series? I think so. And did you hear that Lindor is not in the lineup because he slammed his finger on the door in a hotel? I did. I was just
How do you do that? How do you do that?
Were you like, I'm getting ready. Hey, we're going to a game. I'm packing up. It's a road trip. Okay, I've got my bag on my shoulder. I've got my phone in my pocket. Oh, wait a second. Hold on a second. I've left. There's my wallet. It's right there on the door. Hold on. I got to really quickly throw my hand out in front to try to keep the door open. And crinkled up his fingers. That's the only thing I could think. Maybe you forgot your wallet. Like, oh, I'm going to save that real quick. Instead of me using my little scan over here, I didn't want to have to go ahead and go down to the front office to go ahead and get another little key card. So I'm going to go ahead and try to stick my fingers in to stop the door.
Well, hopefully he doesn't have to go on disabled list for that.
Yeah, the injured list there for those not
whatever. Hopefully he doesn't have to sit out some games.
The Dodgers did just get swept by the Pirates. That's right. Goon says, shouldn't it be a real karate chop to the testes if Judge is the AL MVP and Alonso is the NL MVP?
No. If they deserve it. I don't see Alonso being NL MVP. It's too first of all, I remember they had the All-Star break. Sparky Lyle, great Yankee relief pitcher back in the 1970s, won the Cy Young in 1977. And as a relief pitcher, if you can imagine that. But, you know, relief pitchers would pitch like 3-4 innings a game, you know, get a win or a save. Excuse me.
What the hell?
And then the next year, the Yankees signed Goose Gossage, and Goose Gossage wound up taking over the closer role. And Sparky Lyle said, I went from Cy Young to sayonara in 6 months. So that's how quickly it can change a guy who's, you know, the midpoint MVP. It's a long season. TJ wants to put all these young guys in the Hall of Fame after 6 months, where it doesn't matter what else they do.
God. Drew L says, did I ever tell you I hate Joey Gallo? Yeah, Joey Gallo.
Everybody does.
I was about to say, if you're a fan of a team, anytime you sign Joey Gallo or trade for a guy like Joey Gallo, you just go to yourself, holy shit.
I worked with a guy named Joe Gallo once.
Oof. And dude couldn't even make contact with a brick if you threw it at the strike zone. Oh my gosh.
He couldn't hit water.
2-run single. Yanks up 2-1. Now let's go.
He couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat.
And it's not entirely fair to compare because the eras are different. Starting pitchers don't go nearly as many innings per start and as many innings in general. That's true, Grump.
That's true, and that's why I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of pitchers get in the Hall of Fame when you do the compare test.
Pitchers throw harder now too, though.
They don't last as long either.
Because they throw harder.
Then they don't deserve to get in the Hall of Fame.
Because the batters are better too.
No Hall of Fame for DeGrom. No Hall of Fame for you.
Frank C says DeGrom is a dominant pitcher playing on a bad team all those years.
True, very true.
And also, Grump, as of now, Clay Holmes has gone 24 straight scoreless innings. I wonder how Pirate fans feel.
Not too good. But here's the thing. He would not be getting those opportunities in Pittsburgh.
Alexander says, Grump, Gore is a Hall of Fame, a great running back, a guy that overcame 2 ACL surgeries, a great player.
Not questioning him as an individual, his drive and determination, just not a Hall of Famer.
He was on the 2013 Super Bowl 49ers team.
Riding the pine. Who was the big rusher on that team? Wasn't it Kaepernick?
Yeah, what's going on, Grumpy? I don't have you pulled up right now. I'm trying to pull up. Hold on. They didn't win. They didn't win the Super Bowl in 2013, did they?
No. They came in second. But he's not the reason why they even made the Super Bowl.
That year he rushed for 1,128 rushing yards.
But who was the player who it was Colin Kaepernick, who midway through the season, they started that RPO thing with him, and he led them to the Super Bowl. That's what happened. Then he remembered he was Colin Kaepernick, and then they lost.
He's our next Mariano Rivera for at least 5 years a minimum.
Drew, pump the brakes, please.
At 25 straight scoreless innings.
You're playing the TJ role on me now. Don't do that, please.
You
realize this is exactly what TJ would do, Drew. I'm sorry. I'm going to call you out a little bit here. This is exactly what TJ would do. The guys, and he has been lights out. He's not Mariano Rivera. Mariano Rivera did that for.
I think Clay Holmes is better than Mariano Rivera. I'm going to take it one further, Drew. I think Clay Holmes is the best pitcher to ever touch a baseball. I'm going to take it one further, Grump. I'm going to say he's the best baseball player to ever live.
Do you remember Eric Gagne?
Yeah, Eric Gagne. That's correct. Not Gagne. Gagne. I do remember Eric Gagne. Used to be the closer for the Dodgers. Used to be a closer for a short time period. I believe out for the Angels. Used to be a closer for the short time period for the Mets. I remember Eric Gagne. Yeah, very good relief pitcher.
Yeah. For how long was he a really good relief pitcher?
A lot of years.
He had one spectacular year for the Dodgers. Here's the thing. Is he a Hall of Famer?
One spectacular year, Francisco Rodriguez.
Yeah,
for the Angels, and then he had the most saves at the time period in the history of the MLB for a single season. He goes ahead and signs a big contract with the Mets and then sucks shit. I do remember that.
A lot of guys like that. Relief pitchers are up and down. One year they're great. Jabba Chamberlain was fantastic. His first year up, unhittable. Yankees ruined him.
Eric Gagne did win a Cy Young.
Well, yeah, because he was absolutely unbelievable that one year. He went, I don't know how many scoreless innings, 50-something scoreless innings.
He did have a 1.20 ERA.
He was tremendous that one year. Just lights out every night. Every night. How many saves did he have that year?
55 saves, led the MLB.
55 saves. Incredible. He was fantastic that year.
On his career, he had 187 saves.
What does it tell you?
And 150 of those came in a 3-year time frame.
There you go. That's my point. Relief pitchers don't. Okay, today's relief pitchers don't last like the older guys.
I think it was due to injury in 2000. So in 2002, 3, and 4, he was in top. He won one Cy Young, and again he had 52, 55 saves, and 50 or 45 saves, respectively. Then in 2005, he had 13 innings pitched. In 2006, he had 2 innings pitched. I think he had back-to-back injuries that derailed his career.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's what happened.
injuries happen, Grump.
Yeah, injuries have stopped more Hall of Fame careers than anything else.
Yep. Yes. Eric Gagne was a fantastic closer for a short time period. And then Gungun says, "Hey, Grump, I'd like to see some photos of you when you're younger, more sensitive man. Can you show us some photos from way back when? Fully clothed is preferred."
I'll have to dig some up. I do have some photos. Not always fully clothed, but not totally naked either. So,
My God. My God. Do you guys think that Edwin Diaz is now considered a top 5 closer in the game?
no.
I don't know.
Top 10, though.
Mm.
The Mets, here's the thing. I think once you get all your starters back, particularly come playoff time, I think the Mets pitching staff is going to be deep enough. I'd like to see them get another left-handed reliever, to be honest with you. That's what I'd like to see. But all these guys like your Walkers, McGill, come playoff time, they're not going to be pitching. So they're going
to be long relievers or guys in their bullpen.
That's right. And like I said, that's great for the Mets. Right now, they're short relief. They're intermediate, like they're 7 and 8 inning guys are where they're hurting. It's not going to hurt your playoff time, potentially, but you still want to pick up somebody like that.
Well, yeah,
I'd love to see him get somebody else like that.
Drew L said, "I was watching last podcast. Is it just me or the Matthew Carbone? Does he look like Vince Vaughn's twin brother?" I thought he looks a little bit like Vince Vaughn, too. A little like him. Alexander says here, question, do you guys think that John Franco is a Hall of Famer?
Man, I like John Franco, too. He had a whole lot of saves. It's tough for relievers to get into the Hall of Fame. Very, very difficult. They just don't play enough. I'm going to say no for him. Same thing with Wagner. Look at the Hall of Fame relief pitchers. How many were there, really? You got Hoyt Wilhelm, Raleigh Fingers, Goose Gossage, Mariano Rivera. And with the exception of Rivera, those guys like Gossage, he's having like 3 inning saves. Raleigh Fingers, 3-4 inning saves. They were just that good. Now it's a specialized role, which hurts them in regards to the Hall of Fame.
Fair enough.
Clay Holmes, not a Hall of Famer. Sorry, Drew.
Yeah, 424 saves. Billy Wagner had 422 saves. But they're all like with those relief pitchers, they were like, oh, they're really good. You have to be truly special to make the Hall of Fame as a reliever.
1 inning guys. Trevor Hoffman was another one who got in. But he, at the beginning of his career, he pitched more innings. Now everything's a 1 inning role. It's tough.
Fair enough, Grump. Fair enough.
Lee Smith, great relief pitcher. Bruce Sutter. Did Bruce Sutter get in the Hall of Fame? I'm not sure. But he's another one of those guys. They were both those guys who pitched more than 1 inning to get a save. To me, they're worth more than the 1 inning guys, even more than Rivera. Rivera was lights out, but, wouldn't you love a guy come in there and just shut the door for 3 innings?
I want to switch topics a bit here, but no, I agree with you. You want a guy, ideally, right? If your guys could go ahead and pitch that long, that'd be fantastic. It's just not what they're asked to do. They're asked to pitch 1 at a time. Now, Grumpy, I want to ask you, do you notice anything about this pitcher? This is circulating on social media, and I want. Oh shit! It tells you right over here. Damn it!
Looks like a bondage bed frame. If I'm looking at it correctly.
Do you think it looks like a bondage bed frame, Grump?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I do like how they zoom in. And big C. I laughed my ass off when I saw this, and I was like, oh man, it's freaking Big Z. The comments are the absolute best. And
Gulliver's Travels, wow. Do you know what Gulliver's Travels is about?
I have no idea what Gulliver's Travel is about.
The picture kind of tells it all.
Hold on a second.
Oh
Does he wear the bunny costume? Like that. So the memes are going all over the place like that. And other items and other pictures are happening to pop up as well. But I do like how Something even as simple as, oh, I'm taking a little picture because I have an ad or I work with I probably get paid to go ahead and pose for a little picture with this little chewy bar, this organic fit chewy bar. I'm like, okay, just woke up in the morning or I'm going to bed, I'm eating my little chewy bar, and the first thing people go ahead and say, hold on, I'm not going to look at the chewy bar you're eating. What's that right there? What's this little loop you've got up here? Is that a bondage bed going on?
I honestly, I bet you it's some type of workout equipment that he's got. Something
No
that
freaking way. Stop it. Come on. Come on, Grumpy.
okay, I don't know anything about a bondage bed, to be honest with you. No idea. But I'm gonna bet that it's some type of workout equipment. It's maybe something
What type of workout equipment do you think he's doing in the bed, Grumpy?
I'm not saying I don't even think it is a
Yes,
bed.
bondage would fall under that category if you think about it.
I don't know. I have a little bit more respect for Zdeno Chara than you do,
It's
obviously.
just like Gulliver's Travelers. They go ahead and strap him.
First of all, it's not Gulliver's Travelers, it's Gulliver's Travels.
Ugh.
About a guy who was shipwrecked, washes up on a beach, and he goes into a country called Lilliput, where they're all smaller than him, and they try to tie him down. And there's two warring factions, the Lilliputians and whoever the bad guys were. But the two kings were fighting one another. But the daughter and the son of each one love each other, and they get together at the end. And a very charming story by Jonathan Swift. I suggest you read it if you know how to read. I know it'd take you probably more than reading a little GIF like that or something stupid that you read in 10 seconds.
A little meme. Meme. Paulo C says here, which team in professional sports was a team that choked the most in the finals? I think it's got to be the Buffalo Bills. 4 straight Super Bowl losses. Think about it. You can't choke more than that.
I'm not saying those are choke games. Think about the teams that they played. The NFC East was a juggernaut back then in the late 80s, early 90s. The Giants, the Redskins, and Dallas Cowboys twice. I mean, they were the 3 best teams in the league for many years. I mean, I don't know which game you could say they actually choked. They got blown out in one game against Dallas. Other than that, they were right down to the end for the most part. Certainly the Giants game was. I don't know. I don't like to call them chokers. That means that you did something wrong to lose a game.
And same with Benitez.
Oh, yeah. Remember Armando Benitez? He was good for a while.
Why is that name not ringing a bell for me?
He pitched for the Mets for a while, but I remember he was really good for Baltimore as a reliever.
Armando Benitez. Okay. He was nowhere near the level of these other guys.
No, but I remember him. He was good for a while.
Yeah. Filled a gap. He filled a hole. Armando Benitez. Yeah. And Drill said, yeah, I'm not going to lie, Grumpy. Not even Marcus Smart can stop Steph. He's literally scorching hot right now, Grump.
Got to get physical on him. Take a couple of fouls.
Let's get physical. Physical. Right,
you know who sings that song?
I don't know who sings it now.
Oh, she was in Grease as well.
I couldn't tell you.
Olivia Newton-John.
Mm.
Do you even know who that is?
No.
Watch Grease.
Frank always used to give me anxiety whenever he took the mound.
So did Billy Wagner.
Dude, Billy Wagner would do that a lot where it's like, you're walking a guy, you're putting guys on first and second. What the? Yeah. And Chara, WTF, he's a freak. Chara starring in the latest film of Crazy Rich Slovakians.
Could you imagine that?
Chara gets his workout in the bed before he goes sleepy time, Grump.
Maybe he does.
Frank laughing there as well. I tell you, Grump. So I figured you get a little bit of a kick out of that. It's the internet is a crazy, crazy place, Grump. That's for certain.
And I just look at my certain things every day. I don't go up the beaten path, some rabbit hole like TJ does and all his ridiculousness. I don't do that.
So Aaron Rodgers popped up in the news twice here this last week, and I'll show you one time here. So apparently Devontae Adams, and I want to ask you whether this passes the sniff test, whether you think it's true or not. Apparently Devontae Adams tried to get traded to the Raiders and Derek Carr and get traded away from the Packers and Aaron Rodgers for several years, according to Derek Carr's brother, David Carr. And it came close to happening a couple years ago. Do you realistically think that's true, or is that just David Carr saying, "Oh, they're great friends and they always wanted to be playing back together"? I mean, like, do you put a lot of merit into that?
I tell you what, that's interesting. Everyone knows Rodgers is an absolute jerk, right? I've never heard that rumor though. I mean, maybe it is true, but wow. That speaks to me. That speaks volumes about Aaron Rodgers. Just does.
I'll tell you, I thought it did too. So you think it passes a sniff test? To answer your question, Grump.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, TJ.
Oh, do you think it passes a sniff test?
Has Adam said anything about it?
No. This is David Carr.
I understand that. I just, if Adams liked the tweet or something like that, or Derek Carr liked the tweet, I mean, that's how we determine if people like things or not, right? Or if they believe in them, if they like them. I don't know. This is the first time I'm ever hearing about it.
It's the first time I had heard about it as well. I mean, Ryan Fitzmagic retired today too, Grumpy, I'm sure, as you saw.
Yeah. Matter of fact, that was my son who called up and said that Ryan Fitzpatrick retired today. No loss. Who cares? Maybe he should be a Hall of Famer too. 37 years old, played for 9 teams.
I never said that, Grump.
Was good in spurts.
Why don't you leave that, Grump?
Frank Gore and Fitzpatrick in 2027. That should be your motto now. Hall of Famers.
Oh man, I'm trying to say I'm trying to pull up the quote so I don't misquote it, but you happen to see that they had like a little golf outing with Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and Josh Allen. You saw that, right?
I heard that they had it. I did not watch it.
Okay. It happened here the last few days and yesterday. Oh man, there was some shade being thrown back and forth. And Aaron Rodgers, I tell you, Aaron Rodgers tried to take a little bit of a stab, but the comment section was, I mean, ridiculously mean. I'm trying to find this old tweet. I knew I should have retweeted it, Grumpy. I made a mistake. I thought I'd be able to pull it up, Johnny on the spot, but
Tom Brady was talking mad smack to Josh Allen for some reason, just going after him. Now, Brady has never won one of these silly little made-up golf tournaments. I know they won this time, but I mean, he'd lost the other 2 times he was involved. But what does it tell you, right? People want to see Tom Brady. They did he still leads the NFL in money earned from merchandise sales. $9.7 million or $9.2 million to merchandise sales. The next closest is Patrick Mahomes with $3.3 million. Think about that. That old man generates 3 times as much money as probably the best quarterback in the game, right? Well, I'm sorry. Second best quarterback in the game. He's the best.
Patrick Mahomes and your love for Tom Brady, Grump. Shit. I'm not gonna be able to find it. Long story short, Aaron Rodgers is trying to come at Patrick Mahomes saying, "I think you're probably pretty good at TikTok. At least I notice all your family members are," something like that.
Oh, damn. See, that's just mean. It's different when you're trying to be. I'm going to guarantee you that's a sore spot for Patrick Mahomes.
I tell you this, don't worry. The comments were like, "What the hell does Aaron Rodgers know about family?"
Oh,
so like I didn't want to butcher it, but I can't find it, guys. I apologize. I know I should have probably retweeted it as soon as I saw it, but I mean, like the comment sections, I tell you, the internet goes undefeated. That's for certain. And I know for a fact Patrick Mahomes does not like that. There's a clip, and did I show you this, Grump? There's a clip of Patrick Mahomes and his wife, and they're at a basketball. It's like in the NBA final or NBA playoffs. And you see her turn her face talking to her friend. You say, "Patrick told me to stop having resting bitch face." And she goes, and tries to make like a little smile like that. I'm just like, I laugh my fucking ass off because it's so funny.
I don't understand why he's still with her.
They're high school sweethearts.
I understand that, but I mean, I don't. I mean, he seems like a really nice guy. Patrick Mahomes. I don't know him personally, so I can't. But he seems like a really nice guy. She's freaking trailer park trash. I'm sorry, she is. And then you got that brother, that goof. I'm just like
Jackson Mahomes.
I feel bad for Patrick Mahomes. I do.
Hold on.
I do. I mean, he seems like a nice guy, and he's just too nice to kick that hillbilly to the curb and to get rid of that useless hanger-on brother of his. Ugh.
Oh, is this not going to be the actual video of them? Damn it. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Give me a second.
You might want to put it up on the screen.
I know. I had to pull it, Grump. There was a lot. I had to sort through it, Grumpy. They're still fiance. I didn't know that, but just take a look. See at this one. Oh, no, this is Texas Tech game. I'm sorry.
Look at her. Look at her. Shit.
Could you read that one, bro?
Oh my God.
Patrick told me to stop having resting bitch face.
Oh, and then she does
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. I cannot.
Look at his ass when she says that. Look at him where he's like, God damn, I can't even. Just tell me.
You know what he's thinking?
Look at him shaking his freaking head after he hears that.
You know what he's thinking? I'm telling you what he's thinking. How do I get rid of her?
My God. Patrick, do yourself a favor.
Now, here's the thing. If she turns up dead somewhere, he absolutely had something to do with it.
Patrick Mahomes put a hit out on her.
Yeah.
Didn't want to ruin his reputation. Didn't want to tarnish his name.
I mean, honestly, though, he shouldn't take her to an event like this unless they're in a box somewhere with, like, the what the hell's the kind of glass that the cops can't see in? The tinted windows?
Yes.
He should only go out with her with tinted windows in front of them.
Jesus Christ. Oh, man, I tell you. So it's always kind of funny to see little old Aaron Rodgers in the news. I want to talk about this. So you remember Tim Peel, the NHL official who got in trouble?
Yes.
And just we'll paint the picture for those who are not familiar, Grumpy. Tim Peel, the NHL official who was fired on his last year that he was going to be officiating in the NHL. He
during the COVID year,
he was caught on a hot mic saying, I was trying to look to give them a penalty after what happened earlier. Essentially alluding to he was trying to go ahead and give a penalty away because he didn't like the way they were playing. So he was trying to find something to call on him, and he gave a fictitious penalty against the team. I can't remember which teams were involved in on it, but Tim Peel was essentially like, hey, I'm trying to find ways to give a penalty to control.
Makeup call. It was a makeup call. He was trying to do a makeup call on something they made a mistake on.
So this is what happened recently here. So Brandon Dubinsky, ex-NHLer, played for quite a few teams. He says, let's have a beer at the Garden next round. The real Cali 24 is in too, Rangers. This is biz nasty. So Tim Peel comments and he says, I'll come if you buy me a beer, Doobie. I remember playing blackjack with you at the Cove. We were on a heater.
Oh.
So people say this. So is anybody else kind of pretty freaking weird that NHL officials, NHL refs used to gamble alongside players? I know refs are corrupt, but holy shit. I didn't expect one to just go out and say it. Do you think this is a huge red flag? Do you think this is a potential red flag, Grump?
No. So they went out gambling one night. Big deal.
Okay. I don't know, Grump. I just look at that and I say, you usually don't. How often do you see like NFL officials out there going out there and partying with guys like Michael Evans and guys like Tom Brady and guys like Aaron Rodgers? Do you see that often? We were playing poker.
That's not their only. The NFL officials are different. Okay, that's just game day. So they have regular jobs during the week and they just travel to the site during games. NHL officials and NBA officials travel with the teams I'm not saying they do the same team all the time, but they're just like team members because they're on the road all year long because the games are, every other day or whatever. So it's different. It is different.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. I saw that and I was like, Tim Peel finding a way to make himself controversial as always.
I don't think he
Maybe it was
cares.
a nothing burger, but I was like, okay, maybe Grump, maybe. Hold on a second. They didn't choke. Buffalo was a great team. They faced Hall of Famers all the time. Great teams in the history of the game.
True.
And it's okay if Franco gave you anxiety. You should try Aroldis Chapman. Oh, wow.
I think Chapman sucks.
PJ, don't ruin that song. Olivia was one of the all-time goddesses. I love her forever.
Man, she was smoking hot. And here's the thing, when you're a kid, I remember watching Grease when it came in movie theaters in 1978. And, I just like, oh, yeah, man, she's hot. But you look at it now, man, that girl was skinny as damn rail. And then I look at, people, I look at, not of myself, but I look at, pictures of people I knew back then. Everyone was so damn skinny, where now it's different. Girls are not as skinny as they were back then, the majority. I'm just saying. But it's just so interesting. I look at them like that. I did not realize she was so skinny because she just looked like everybody else back then. Different times.
Different times, Grumpy. Frank C said, did I say Joey Gallo? I meant Joey Callow. My
Joey
cousin
Callow. Joey, did you say Gallo? Did you say Callow? It was Gallo with a G. No, it's Callow with a C.
Goon says, if Harold Baines is a Hall of Famer, then Hernandez, Mattingly, and Munson bloody well belong too.
Now, there's another Don Mattingly. For a 5-year stretch, he was the best player in the game. Best player in the game. Back injuries, didn't have the numbers long-term. Never going to get in the Hall of Fame. Keith Hernandez, tremendous fielder, won an MVP. Mattingly won an MVP also. And probably the best defensive first baseman, certainly on the short list of all time. Let's just say that. And Thurman Munson, fantastic for a number of years. It's a longevity game in baseball. It just is. It's a numbers game. Baseball, more than any other sport, is a numbers game. Just is.
Jarrell says, Grump, do you know the name Kate Bush? Apparently, like her biggest single was the new Stranger Things, and now the song is even bigger than it was in 1985.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yes, I've heard of Kate Bush. Yes, I have. And matter of fact, the Warden and I just finished up episode 6 on Stranger Things, and she started again. Well, this is ridiculous. I'm like, I told the people on the podcast that you were getting ready to dump on this show, and they say you got to keep watching it. It's like, you talk about me on the podcast? And I'm like, of course not, dear. I would never do that to you. I said, but, people are saying keep watching it. So
There's a song called Running Up That Hill, by the way.
Okay. Yeah. So
I figured you know it and sing it to me or something, Grump.
No.
It's pretty catchy. Paulo C says, I agree with Grump. The 49ers, the Redskins, the Cowboys were too strong for the Bills. The only team that had a chance had a chance against was the Giants, which they should have beaten with Norwood's missed field goal.
That was the first year, the no-huddle offense. The Buffalo called it the K-gun offense. They started that maybe the last week of the regular season, the Bills, and they beat the Raiders with it in the AFC Championship game, beat them 51-3, just no huddle the whole time. And Belichick and Parcells just played 2 defensive linemen that game, flooded the backfield. Only 2 linebackers. Everything else was defensive backs, and just hit the hell out of those wide receivers. And by the end, they wore him down. They said, if you want to run the ball, you could. Thurman Thomas, he had a great game that day. But Buffalo just didn't take the bait. They're just like, we're just going to continue doing what we do. It was a tremendous, tremendous Super Bowl game.
Gotcha. Olivia's song Magic is awesome. Goon saying, and speaking of Mattingly, why are his sons so poorly behaved as of late?
I don't know what they're doing. I don't know his sons are poorly behaved. I don't know.
Frank C says, looks like the Avalanche going up 2-0. Do you guys see a sweep? No.
I think maybe it'll be a gentleman's sweep. 5 games.
I don't know, man. Okay, it's gonna be home. It's gonna be a home matchup for Edmonton.
Edmonton sucks. They can score. They can't play any defense. And they got Mike Smith in goal. I think it'll be a gentleman's sweep. 5 games.
Alexander says they're married now. Okay, I
Oh
didn't know they
my
were no
God.
longer engaged.
Poor Patrick. He should have bailed on her, man. I just look at her. She's got trailer park written all over her, doesn't she? Ugh, and she's just going to get worse. They're not going to stay married forever. Eventually, he's going to kill her, and I feel bad for him because you can see it coming.
He's just gonna snap one day.
I think so. He looks, like I said, a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Says the right thing, very polite, and you know she's not like that. You just look at her. It's like, damn, son.
Where'd you
I
find
mean,
this one?
like,
Drell said, I feel like Patrick Mahomes' wife looks like a super basic, popular high school girl that started dating a rock star singer.
high school slut is what she looks like.
Spot on, Drew. But talking about choking in the finals, the Boston Bruins choked a lot of times in the finals.
They should have beat the St. Louis Blues. They should have.
Mm-hmm. Oh. And Drew L says, I know maybe it's just me, but if I was Patrick Holmes, why settle down with that bozo? You know, she's pretty, but she's a moron. I'd much rather date a 6 who are actually street smart versus Brittany Matthews. Well, again, they've known each other for a long time. They've known each other since high school and they're high school sweethearts. Shouldn't it be Joey Callow? Because there's always striking out.
Oh,
I like that, Drew. Alexander says, quick question, guys. If you had Patrick Laine on your team for 2 years and Pasternak is a free agent and you have a chance to get Pasternak for $2 million less, would you sign him and trade Laine?
if you had Patrick Laine on your team for 2 years, and Pasternak's a free agent, you have a chance to get Pasta for $2 million less. Would you sign him and trade Laine?
I don't follow.
Is he talking about Boston maybe doing that? Or Columbus doing that?
Maybe I don't know.
Pasta's a good player, but he disappears. He needs somebody. He plays better when he's with Bergeron.
Yes,
a leader out there.
And Bergeron's retiring or looks to be retiring. James F says here, Kate Bush did a duet with Peter Gabriel. Couldn't tell you what those are. Fair enough.
It wasn't Sledgehammer.
And they're expecting another baby.
Oh my God.
Another kid.
Oh my God.
James F saying here, guys, was watching the 79 Eastern Conference Finals. I think if the Islanders win that series, serious NHL channel aside, Islanders would beat the Habs in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Man, that was the year Davidson was just on fire for the Rangers. And it was what a devastating loss for the Islanders. It was really crushing. For me, not as bad as the year before, losing to Toronto, but that was second place. And the guys they lost 3-2 the last game, was just crushing. And the Rangers won the first game against Montreal. I'm like, man, is Davidson going to lead them to a championship? Then Montreal swept their ass.
Goon saying here, Grumpy, which Ozzy means more to you? Ozzy Smith or Ozzy Osbourne?
Osbourne.
Fair enough. As a quick one, he's trying to figure out what to do in his NHL game, Grump. He's got franchise with the Islanders. I don't know. Grumpy doesn't pay attention to anything like that.
No, I don't. And I don't know how. I mean, they're all the same, aren't they? I don't know.
Drell said, I hope Dennis Potvin actually shows up to MSG randomly one day.
I know he loves I think he's a color guy for Ottawa now. So I know he goes there, but I think he loves them ripping him. And they know when he's in the building. They know that Ranger fans aren't stupid. I mean, they're good, intelligent hockey fans. Well, when I say intelligent, they know what's going on. They know who the villains are.
What's up, Woda? How are you? Got to show you this, Grumpy. You familiar with Drew Timmy?
This freaking idiot with the damn headband. Yeah, he's a jerk.
He's coming back to play another year for Gonzaga.
Oh my God. Why? What's he, 45 years old?
Well, here's the thing. Right now that you can get, name, image, and likeness deals, he's going to return for his senior year basketball, try to maximize what he can get, I guess. I don't know.
You know what it tells me? He's not good enough to play in the NBA.
He doesn't feel confident enough that he's going to get drafted or that he's shit.
Or high enough anyway.
I don't get it. I mean, you think waiting another year is going to really significantly improve your draft stock?
Is his value going to be any higher than it is right now? I mean, he was really good last year. Gonzaga managed to keep all their guys. They didn't lose anybody.
Let me see here. I don't. Yeah. I'm trying to see what his projections don't mean shit, which is worth saying it. To me, considered by most to be a second round pick, but ultimately opted to return to school.
Hey, good for you.
Okay.
I just think I hate him because he's got that stupid headband. The headband makes me automatically dislike him. And that stupid, usually he has a different mustache than that. I don't like him. I just don't. I don't like his look.
And what's up, Frank? Here, Kipush and Peter Gabriel they sing "Don't Give Up"?
Okay,
I don't know what that is. Fair enough.
it's a song. It's a song.
It's a song.
Hey, by the way, think of the songs. Tomorrow, TJ, on your way into work, are you going to put the radio on?
Tomorrow, maybe.
Woo! Big day.
Big day. The radio comes on Fridays.
TJ.
Yeah, Timmy should have been following since high school. I would think, he'd be at worst an early second round pick. Yeah. And hey, Grump, this Cortez for the Yankees is a steal. What a pickup. The Yankees won both games in that doubleheader.
I had Cortez on my fantasy team this year, and I foolishly dropped him, and an enemy team picked him up, and he's been putting up great numbers ever since. It was a dumb move by me.
Frank C says here, Ken Dryden, God damn it, that stupid freaking fantasy league again. Ken Dryden was a guy comparable to Koufax. 7 years, 6 cups, and unbelievable stats. Very few guys like that can make it to the Hall of Fame with such short careers.
True.
We have a fan fight segment, don't worry, Drew L., and it was submitted by Alexander. It's a great one.
Yes.
Want to go through this, Grumpy? Now, way too early predictions for the MLB MVP. Now, I assume for the American League, who do you have there as number one spot? You've got it there as Trout, Ramirez, or Judge. I feel like Judge has got to be the consensus right now for the AL. I'm not saying just because we're fans of New York teams, right? We throw Aaron Judge in there, but it's got to be Aaron Judge, right?
I'm thinking Ramirez. Trout's been really good too. But, to me, Ramirez is like a one-man team in Cleveland. And I think Ramirez, what he does, as well as Trout, are more sustainable than what Judge does. Judge is totally predicated on hitting home runs.
Judge is still hitting 303.
Yeah, okay. He's not going to hit 303.
Think about this. He's got 19. He has 19 home runs, Aaron Judge, and only 39 RBIs.
Yeah. Like I said, he's not going to hit.
Hold on. How could you shit on a guy who's got 19?
I'm not shitting on him. What I'm saying is he's not going to hit 80 home runs this year. It's just not. Or he's not going to hit 65, 70 home runs this year. He's not. He's going to cool off, and then you can see him drop. Where what Ramirez does, he's a guy who hits the ball to all fields. He's also got a lot of home runs this year, more sustainable. Mike Trout can do everything, more sustainable than Aaron Judge. That's all I'm saying. And for the National League, I'm going to say the same thing about Alonso. Not going to be as productive as you think long-term. Goldsmith is having a rebirth this year at whatever, 36, 37 years old. Mookie Betts has been really freaking good. He's another guy who, not just a home run guy, has a lot of home runs this year, but hits the ball over the park and can play defense.
Paul Goldsmith. I'm sorry, I was looking at some stats. Did you talk about Paul Goldsmith?
Yeah, he's had a resurgence this year. Really good.
This is the best year he's had this is the best year he's had since what you would say back in his those Diamondback days?
Yeah, 5-6 years ago. I can't remember the last time he's hitting. He's unbelievable.
The power numbers are there too. He had power numbers last year. He hit 31 homers last year. He's hitting 353 right now, 11 homers. He's having a great season.
Yeah, a lot of RBIs too.
Yeah. So the way
it's more exciting. Shohei Ohtani, like we said earlier this year, he gets a little bit of bump from playing two positions, but I don't think he's anywhere close to being the player he was last year.
Fair enough, Grump. Fair enough. I do have a fan fight to show.
Yes.
Submitted by Alexander. Now this, I want to ask you who's in the right, who's in the wrong on this one. So I'll paint the picture. What I've been able to gather when I first watched this, these two individuals, Mr. Red Hoodie and Mr. Blue Hoodie, are sitting in seats that are not theirs.
Uh-oh.
What?
Uh-oh.
They're sitting in seats that are not there. and they were comfortably sitting there all game until the tail end. Now you're going to have two people confront them that will say, hey, we want our seats back. You could tell they're sitting up in the freaking bleeds, and trust me, there's plenty of space for everybody to go around, and maybe other people aren't sitting in their assigned seats. Who the hell knows? These two individuals not sitting in their assigned seats, and the people sitting just to the left of them have enough room where their group could sit together and have space on both sides as well. So I will let you be the judge on this one, Grumpy, as to what you think. But it's an interesting one, something that got out of hand very quickly.
Excuse me, fella.
Here's the thing, too, by the way, real quick. We tune in. You know that things have been escalating a bit because this guy has got the freaking camera out before the confrontation even happens. So it's not like they just randomly came up and said, oh, hey, what's going on over here? You're sitting in my seats. What are you doing now? This has obviously been broached beforehand. So the guy's already prepped. He's Johnny on the spot. And look at him. For the fan fight, he did it the right way. He flipped it there to landscape mode instead of portrait. Thumbs up to the guy videotaping. Fantastic job.
Excuse me, fella. I can't get out. Oh, I know that seat first, so you won't get picked out. This is my seat. I didn't get it. Because I was trying to be a nice guy in my seats. Are you trying to get in? Are you trying to take a picture? Walk through the other side.
Dude, just stand the fuck up!
Learn my shoes, so you can go get some food on the top.
All they're trying to do is walk through 5 people because I said something when they came this way instead of going through 4 people that way.
No, you're not. You're being a dude.
Okay, I'm getting a lot of echo on that, by the way.
Okay. You're gonna hear echo on that, Grump, just because it's filmed the way it's filmed. So he's upset. These guys gave him a hard time, these two guys, because they walked through. They went and had to walk past 5 people to go exit the stands on the right-hand side to use the bathroom instead of walking to the left and having to walk through 4 people. So that's how this is all escalated.
Because they don't like – who's upset about walking through?
These 2 people who were sitting in the wrong seats are upset that this guy had to use the bathroom and walk past them to go use the bathroom instead of walking the other way where there's less people to walk through.
They're 100% in the wrong. They're 100% in the wrong. Stop bitching the guy's walking past you. I don't give 2 shits. You're in the wrong seats. The guy wants to walk past you, walk past, period.
Okay.
You know you're in his seats. I mean, sorry, jackass.
Get the fuck out of my seat.
Oh, so you went here.
Yes, I do. Where are your seats at? Where are your seats at?
What does it matter?
I know that's why. Who cares? You came over here.
I paid for a ticket.
Perfect.
I'm entitled to the same thing you are.
You seriously gonna let this happen?
You came over here. 2 people, 4 people.
I like how it starts escalating too. People start using their hands a lot more. They start with the hands getting in where it's like, okay, we're like slowly, whoop, I touched in the personal bubble, whoop, touched one little personal bubble. Here we go again. We start touching into each other's personal bubbles. I start talking a lot more with my hands. That's how it slowly starts to escalate, Grump.
And Philadelphia fans, you know how they are.
Philly fans are attacking Philly fans, buddy. Nothing better than that.
There's
Nothing
a
better than
problem.
Philly fans beating each other up.
And the worst thing is they don't know how to trim their beards.
This guy screams I'm a baseball fan all over him with that type of beard. Anyway.
It's 4 people on 5 people.
Well, Grump, do you remember we had really quickly errors across the MLB? We do that little segment.
Yes.
They're missing it. And maybe they're upset because they were at one of the games when one of the multiple errors that the Phillies committed were on display here today. And like, that damn freaking Phillies have no defense. And maybe it sent them over the edge too, grumpy old man. But anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't want to. I won't interrupt again. Here's the other thing too. I'm sorry I keep interrupting. Why has a stewardess or one of the people who
Stewardess? Stewardess?
The people who stand there and make sure people are sitting in the right area. There's a few of them, they say, your seats are down there, your seats are over here, your seats are on this row. Why, as they see this going on and they're talking, why are those people not like, what's going on here? Anyway, I'm sorry. Last time I interrupted.
Okay, sure.
What are you talking about? He's trying to
Uh-oh.
Young Buck stands up. Young Buck stands up over here. Young Buck's ready to go. His little gym muscles he's been working out since he was 16 years old. Maybe he's a young 18. Is ready to go. He's young, dumb, and you know what? You know the rest.
What? Are you really about to? I'm about to get my seat back.
Uh-oh.
He's saying there's no need for this. Trying to be as Look at these guys down here in the corner, just with a shit-eating grin on, smiling. They know what's next. They've been to plenty of these games. They've seen this story plenty of times.
Oh,
they know what comes next when things start like this. This is the most peaceful interaction they've probably seen between two fans, but they know how it's going to end. It always ends the same way with these Philly fans. Pummeling the living shit out of each other, and that's what we love for fan fights. I'm sorry. It's been a slow build-up, but guess what? I'm happy we get all the context beforehand.
There's Wheeler. Zach Wheeler's moving out of the way.
Oh my god.
Oh
my god.
Where the hell was the cop the whole freaking time?
They were watching the whole thing transpire. That was my point. The cops were letting the Philly boys handle it the Philly way with fisticuffs, Grump. They saw it. The cops are literally right there. 5 punches get thrown. The cops are there. The cops were already freaking there. The stewardess was aware of this situation. The people they're just watching them freaking. It continues to devolve and continues to escalate. They were already there, Grump.
I'm going to tell you something. The last time I saw this type of response time from a cop was in the movie Jack Reacher when Tom Cruise kicked the shit out of those 5 guys outside the bar.
The cops were there. They were camped outside the bar.
When he played Jimmy Reese. He said his name was Jimmy Reese, a Yankee second baseman. I mean, now is he bloodied? Is Philly
yes, I'll let it continue. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna get them too. You understand that? You got it? I'm gonna stop them too.
I'm sorry. Right at the yes. You could see I'll get oh my god. He gets hammered a few times.
Scratched him. Almost looks like he scratched him a little bit.
No, man. He gets pummeled. And here's the thing. I feel bad because the guys who were in the seats, they were like, whatever, we don't give a shit. Now we're going to cause an issue because we didn't like what you did. And these people's pride was too much to move out of the seats and go to the original seats they purchased. But I'll tell you one thing. This guy he gets obliterated. He's making a sandwich. I'll tell you one thing. This father and son Philly combo has fought a few times because what does dad do? He goes ahead and locks him up underneath like that, and he goes ahead and takes the guy's balance off a little bit, so it's hard for him to reach the guy ahead of him because he gets low like that, and allows the son just to extend his reach and just pummel the living shit out of the guy. So these guys, they fought a few times before, Grump.
I'm just going to say the guys who not the Philly. He's scratching his nose. I'm going to tell you what. That's from him scratching his nose. He never actually hit him in the nose.
There's no blood yet. Trust me, he does. The guy in the black pummels him. Watch.
No, he scratched him.
That was a punch right in the freaking nose.
He scratched him. The red shirt guy scratched him. You're looking at it on a
punch right there,
phone,
and
right?
That punch here, Grumpy. That punch right there bloodied him. He's hammering him.
Scratched his nose. That's what it started.
Bullshit, Grump. Look at this. There's a face. And he's punching him so hard, his face is going flat. He doesn't know how to throw a real punch.
Just go back. You're wrong as usual. Stop looking at it on your phone. Okay, I have a big.
I'm not
screen
looking at my
that.
phone. I'm on a laptop.
He scratched him. He scratched him. You saw the blood immediately when he scratched him. Not yet. Now slow. You're going to see
We're already
it.
going halftime speed, Grump.
Okay. Watch. Here comes the scratch. Not there. You're going to see it now.
No, that's done with the scratch.
Not
The scratch
yet.
is over, Grump.
No, it's not. Here's the scratch. Here's coming up. Right there. He's
That's
bleeding
a
there
fucking
from the
push.
scratch. No, he scratched him.
What?
He scratched him. You're wrong. He scratched him.
Stop. Hold on. Hold on.
Long story short, the two who are sitting in the wrong seat are 100% wrong. You're sitting in the wrong seat. They let you go with that, and you're pissed off because they have walking past you to go take a piss? Tough shit. I wish these guys had the chance to just cut their fucking heads off, and that's the end of them.
Philly fans are the best, Grumpy. Who doesn't love that? Look at how many of these freaking fans who are recording the fan fight did it the wrong way.
Yes.
Mr. Jacket over here, shame on you for portrait mode. Mr. The guy who's sitting over here with a girlfriend, I'm going out on our third date. Shame on you for filming in portrait mode. Always landscape mode, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing but landscape.
Yeah,
I can't tell you how important that is.
Be smarter.
Come on, guys. It's your first. You're Philly fans. You've seen these. You're fans of the Philly freaking Fanatic. You've seen plenty of these fights before. Landscape, guys. Landscape.
And I just want to say thank you to Alexander once again.
This was great. Yes, Alexander.
Yeah.
Do you like how one of the wives or significant others has got like the little tray of like tacos and like hot dogs and stuff like that? They're still eating.
This is early in the game, by the way.
Was that?
This is not late. You don't have that amount of food in the 8th inning. You just don't.
I usually would eat that amount of food in the 8th
You're
inning.
a freaking animal. These women don't eat like that. They're not loading up on damn food at the concession stand, at 10 o'clock at night. Not happening.
So you like this guy pounding his beer, enjoying a game in a little theater on top. Oh my God. Oh, he got pumped.
That was one big punch.
Man,
that was a big one.
Come on, look at his head.
He got scratched early.
Look, Grump.
Nothing. Okay. All right. We've seen enough.
Oh,
this guy, he's like look at him.
Oh my God. He's a freaking punching bag. Holy that one right there. That last punch was the one that bloodied him.
No, you're wrong. Forget it.
Oh my God. Look, dude, he was eating eating punches.
You're wrong.
Eating punches. Wrong. And look how this guy's like nondescriptly like trying to record it. God almighty. Oh, I love it. Run that last. Oh, we'll end it right here, Grumpy. Won that last punch. Chase Utley and the boys got destroyed.
Chase Utley. Finally.
I'm telling you, the cops are right on him though. Oh, Jesus H. I figured. Thank you, Alexander. I got a kick out of that one, Grump.
They are great.
What was that?
They are great.
Oh man, they're fantastic. They're great. They're great, Grump.
You're too dumb to call fights though, because you don't even know what the hell's going on.
Grumpy, they didn't scratch him. Holy shit.
He scratched him. He scratched his nose. That's what caused the blood.
Oh my God.
He was getting hit on the side of the head. The scratch was on this side of his face. You're wrong. He scratched him. You saw him put his hand on his face. As soon as that come up, the blood was coming. You are wrong. As usual.
You know what I heard? Mr. Philly Fanatic, he took that a razor blade when he turned around and he goes, bleeding.
He did. He took a little bit of the tape off and
Grumpy's the only man that would assume this. Boom is a scratch.
No, wrong. It was before then. You're wrong.
Grumpy, I don't want to get in a scratching match with you because it sounds like what most people call, throwing fists. But I will tell you this. Thank you, Drew, here for this. He did go ahead and get a video of Clay Holmes entering the game today. Grumpy.
Oh God. Jesus Christ. Nice, Drew. Thank you.
Thanks for that one, Drew. And then what a film saying, fan fights. Can you guys name your Mount Rushmore of Mets players?
Oh, God, that's tough. They haven't had a whole lot of great players. I guess Tom Seaver and Mike Piazza.
Those are definitely up there.
That's about it. Gary Carter wasn't there long enough.
Alexander saying here, how is Pete Alonso fourth? That's a disrespect. Alonso should be second on the list of James F. By the way, to update you on the Knicks, it came out on the NBA trade report that the Knicks are hiring Jalen Brunson's dad, to be the assistant coach. So the Knicks don't get Brunson at this point. fire the office.
Yeah, true.
James F. also says here, why did we wait till the near end of the game to ask them to move? I don't get it.
It wasn't near the end of the game.
Maybe it was. I don't know.
It was not near the end of the game.
These Philly fans, Grump, they don't
It
have.
was not near the end of the game. See, that's what I'm saying. You don't look at the whole picture. They got a whole tray of food and shit. That's early in the game. That's early. That's not 10 o'clock at night. I mean, first of all, the stands were filled. Okay, very
have a very riveting baseball, Grumpy. Everybody stays the full.
Everyone leaves at the end of games. Everyone leaves at the end. That's what happens. Okay, those stadiums. That stadium was still, the majority was filled, so it was early.
It was April, and thank you for whoever did this. It was April 22nd. This fight, so April 22nd was a Friday evening. So maybe people going out for Friday.
I'm not saying they weren't going on a Friday. What I'm saying is they're not eating at 10 o'clock at night. Who the hell eats at 10 o'clock at night at a baseball game? Not women, not middle-aged women. That much I can tell you. Maybe drunken bastards like you. Maybe. Yo, I would. Yeah, no kidding. You'd eat 15 hot dogs in a sitting. You're not a normal person. She had a whole big thing. It looked like one of those nights where you get 4 hot dogs, 4 drinks, 4 tickets for $40. I don't know, whatever it is. That's what happens.
The description says the two guys were not sitting in their own seat. They actually were in the big dude seats. And all game up until this point, they were giving anyone a hard time for just wanting to pass by. And they're looking for a fight because every time someone would eventually get by, they would start running their mouths. Well, they found one and were taken away in cuffs. I'm sure the fireball they snuck into the stadium and were pounding all game long had something to do with it. It was my son's 8th birthday in his first Phillies game. Welcome. I'm sure that's a great way to
don't forget that one. I
that?
remember the first Mets game I ever went to. I remember it. It was on a Boy Scout trip. It was and we were in the freaking bleeds in right field playing the Pirates. I think it was 1971. Think about how long ago that was. And Willie Stargell hit a home run. We couldn't even see it because we were so far up. It's like, okay, I guess it went over. He's running around the bases. We couldn't even see. But it's like, man, oh man, we were way up there. So I don't know how much the tickets cost, but I'll never forget that game. It seemed like we were forever walking around to get to and out of the stadium, though.
He said it was my son's 8th birthday and first Philly game. Half an inning later, the TV crew came and sent a cameraman up to the section, and myself, my wife, and my daughter, and my son made it on TV. All of that, plus the Phillies won. I'd say it was a pretty memorable night. Go Phillies!
Good for him and good for his son. Happy for them.
Oh, good gracious. Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Got a comment here. Drew L says, at least New York fans just throw like beers onto the field. Philly fans will fight each other. It says, great commentary. Thank you. And TJ, I think you meant the usher. Yeah.
Stewardess.
The stewardess.
The stewardess.
Please take your seat and fasten your seatbelt.
Here's the thing. TJ is so ridiculous in the things. I know it's an usher, but then he said something that's so off the boil that I'm like, I can't even think of anything else.
Grumpy,
of course it's an usher.
If you keep coming at me, we're going to throw scratches at each other. Boom, boom. Scratch each other, baby. No, Grumpy, these type of scratches. Boom, boom, boom.
See, those guys who were sitting down in seats are 100% wrong.
Nico said, you don't pay enough for that in the bleeds. Frank C says, TJ, they're ushers. Yeah. And Drew L said, at least the dude with the hoodie seems to be at least somewhat reasonable. And Dan, like that 16-year-old kid or whatever, literally has muscles for nothing. Shaking my head. Ain't nothing like good old Philadelphia, the city of
brotherly love.
The guy sitting down seemed like a smart ass punk.
That's exactly what they were.
Like Bruce Springsteen's song, on the streets of Philadelphia.
Streets of Philadelphia.
Jill said, TJ, I'm not gonna lie, that's a soft punch that kid threw. Yeah, the kid wasn't through. The guy in the black shirt was throwing. I mean,
he scratched. The kid scratched him.
Bam. Hell of a scratch. James F said, God, white guys can't fight. At least
here's the thing. When you're a little bit bigger, it's tough to fight in those little narrow walkways.
Oh gosh. At least this was a situation where nobody had the high ground. It wasn't like somebody from the seats above were fighting somebody from the seats below. If you're in the seats below, I don't care how bad the people are in the seats above. What you need to do is go to the bathroom and enter on the seats above so you're on a level playing field. You will not win a fight. Your probability of win odds decrease by about, you go from about 50-50 to maybe 80-20 or 20-80 of your chance of winning, because when you do not have the advantage and they've got the high ground, you're almost pinned in for a loss.
I was hoping someone would come with a flying clothesline and just wipe those guys right down the end.
Bam! Comes in from the other side to attack them, a third man in.
No, from like the seats behind, just jump out and boom, big clothesline, wipe them out. Ass over tea kettle into the next row.
I'd eat those kids for breakfast back in my day. Absolutely. No, Drew, you're not young. You're not old. Come on, get out of here. And forget the fan fights, LOL. Better when the guys are scrapping.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. It's better when me and you were going at it.
Oh gosh. Or really, that kid would eat my breakfast in a fight. Oh gosh. And what a film's saying here, the lady with the food is pretty relaxed. Maybe she's used to it. Maybe she's used to it. Could have thrown the nachos.
Absolutely not. She just got them. I ain't throwing those nachos away.
And sorry, Grump, I gotta agree with TJ. Thank you. TJ, yeah, it was a punch. TJ, I don't see anyone.
No, it was not a punch. It was a scratch.
It was a freaking punch, Grump.
It was a scratch. It was a scratch. The kid scratched him. He saw the blood, and then there was punches after. But the initial thing was a scratch.
I don't think anybody wants to go to the
don't make me get the Zabruta film out and go through the whole freaking thing.
We're here at the end of the show. Let's wrap this up, Grumpy. Let's wrap this up over here, because just because you don't know what a freaking scratch is.
Back and to the left.
A bunch of overrated names that can't produce. Tom Seaver, Mike Piazza, and Jerry Kuzman.
I'm not putting Jerry Kuzman up there.
Grumpy, you had the milk carton tickets. Remember, you cut out the milk carton, you got a free ticket.
I remember those days. Those were so good.
A new program, Scratch Fight of the Night, starring next week TJ and the Grumpy Old Man Show. Oh, hey, I forgot to mention this. We're at the end of the show, but we won't be having a show this Sunday, next Thursday, and we possibly might have a show next Sunday. I'm out of the country, guys.
Again.
So, and we're moving as well. So we're trying to go ahead and get the Wi-Fi switched over, but they can't do so until that next Monday. So I might just be on the floor with nothing in the house. I might just be on the floor, maybe just holding a microphone. So just giving you guys a heads up. So, and for the Islanders Never Say Die podcast, in all likelihood, we will not be having a show until not this upcoming Wednesday, but the Wednesday after. So keeping you guys in the loop.
Thanks for the heads up.
Absolutely. I think TJ and Grump scratch each other mentally each podcast. I don't think you two need to go out of the physical fight. Oh, that's what they mean. The scratch fight. Yeah, the punching fight. Shit, I Friday even did that. Verbal abuse on verbal abuse. And Philadelphia is a great movie. Never seen it. TJ, just look up white guy from Florida fight and you'll see how Floridians fight. Oh, trust me, I know how Floridians fight. Don't you worry, I know how that happens. And catch scratch fever.
Cat scratch fever. Nah, nah, nah.
More the cat scratch than the Nickelodeon show back in the day. But Grump, we are here at the end of the show. What do you want to say before we wrap things up today?
I want to say love and laughter to everyone who listens, and even those who don't. From TJ and the Grumpy Old Man.
The Boston Celtics came back in a huge way in the fourth quarter. It's worth mentioning this. Now, hey, it's been going on a podcast for 2 hours. I'll go ahead and do a little interruption. So the fourth quarter, the Boston Celtics have outscored the Golden State Warriors 34-11. And the Boston Celtics have a 114 to 103 point lead over the Golden State Warriors. They've got 11 points up with 2 minutes left remaining on the clock.
I'm going to say they're up by 14 points with 141 left.
How would you? Yeah, Grumpy. That seems oddly specific, but I'll trust you on that one. And then Hodaz says, "See you guys, take care." Thanks, Hodaz. Nice to see you, man. And God, TJ, have you not seen that movie? I don't watch movies like that. I don't watch movies at all. I don't even know what genre is Philadelphia.
That's a drama with Tom Hanks, won an Academy Award for it. where he played an attorney who contracted AIDS and lost his job and was about the court battle, fighting prejudice. That's what it was about. It was a good movie. Very
Don't
good
watch
movie.
any movies.
Denzel Washington was in it. He played his lawyer. It was a good movie.
I don't know. I don't watch any movies. So, Frank C says TJ's leaving the country. Trying to
make America great again by leaving the country.
Oh man, that's it. Me leaving is always a good thing for the country. Philly people seem like they have a coward gene, and it must be in the water over there, the food. Paulo C says here, Grumpy, do you remember when the Boston Bruins and the whole team went to the stands to fight the fans? I believe it was the Ranger fans, if I remember.
It was the Ranger. The Bruins went into the Madison Square Garden stands. Milbury took off a shoe, was beating the guy with the shoe. It was crazy. It was great back in the day. Guys going in the stands. It's fantastic.
Alexander saying, have a good night. You too, Alexander. He said, great job. Thank you. What a film saying, enjoy your trip, TJ. Go Celtics, Grump.
Yes.
By the time we have another podcast, the NBA finals will have been completed. And probably the NHL finals will be close to as well. They'll be already kicking off.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Again, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe on YouTube, like on Facebook, follow on Twitter. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And thank you, Grumpy Old Man.
My pleasure.